David Graeber, Bullshit Jobs, A Theory. Welcome to the summary of A Bullshit Jobs, A Theory by David Graeber. In this book, Graeber analyzes the proliferation of meaningless jobs in modern society and the reasons behind their existence. Despite the rapid advancements in technology that could have resulted in shorter work weeks, people find themselves stuck in pointless positions that offer no real value to society. Graeber identifies 5 categories of bullshit jobs, such as flunkies, goons, duct tapers, box stickers, and taskmasters, and examines their impact on individual happiness, well-being, and sense of purpose. This summary will give you thought-provoking insights into the current work culture, the historical and societal factors contributing to these jobs, and the concept of universal basic income as a potential solution to this issue.
The rise of bullshit jobs. John Maynard Keynes predicted a 15-hour workweek by the 21st century due to technological advancements. While technology has indeed advanced, employment did not decline, rather, the number of pointless, bullshit jobs increased. As the number of productive jobs in industry, farming, and domestic service significantly dropped between 1910 and 2000, professional, managerial, sales, and service jobs have tripled, accounting for 75% of all American jobs. Many jobs today, such as university administrators, PR researchers, human resources advisors, and middle managers, aren't truly essential to society's functioning. Polls in Britain and Denmark reveal that 37% and 40% of workers, respectively, feel their jobs don't make a meaningful contribution to the world. The increase in bullshit jobs signifies a shift in our political, moral, and organizational culture that necessitates a deeper understanding of this phenomenon. The truth about bullshit jobs. When stuck at your desk, questioning your career, you might be a victim of a bullshit job. These jobs, unlike vital roles often deemed unpleasant, lack value in the grand scheme of things. Bullshit jobs aren't about the role itself but the realization that the work holds no true purpose or impact. Acknowledging and pretending it is necessary becomes a charade aimed at securing the job and saving face. This truth about these roles is the great unspoken dilemma too many face in their careers. At times, everyone's found themselves questioning the purpose of their job, wondering if what they're doing really matters. But to genuinely understand that feeling, we have to distinguish between shit jobs and bullshit jobs. For instance, cleaners might find their job tough and underpaid, yet they serve a crucial role in maintaining a habitable workspace. Their work is necessary and important, even if their treatment is not ideal. Bullshit jobs, on the other hand, take an entirely different approach. Those stuck in pointless positions know their work serves no real purpose or importance. These jobs might have employees jumping through hoops, involving them in seemingly significant activities, masking the reality that these jobs serve no legitimate purpose. One example is Kurt, a worker responsible for assisting with office relocations within the German military. With strict protocols, a simple task like moving a computer down a hallway turns into a time-consuming process involving multiple people, paperwork, and approvals. Despite the effort, time, and resources put into this activity, it's clear that Kurt's job shouldn't be necessary. The true struggle of bullshit jobs is the masquerade, the pretense that your work is essential. Employees caught in these roles silently suffer to maintain their status, appease higher-ups, and keep their self-respect intact. With every day spent in these jobs, individuals grow more aware of their emptiness, as they toil away, trying to survive in an increasingly competitive world. Identifying bullshit jobs. In today's work landscape, there are 5 common types of bullshit jobs: flunkies, goons, duct tapers, box stickers, and taskmasters. Flunkies exist to make an individual or organization appear more significant than it might be. For example, while Gert, a receptionist at a Dutch publishing house, barely answers the phone or performs anything more than menial duties, her presence serves to enhance the company's image. Goons, on the other hand, are manipulative and aggressive by nature, and their roles can feel fundamentally unethical. Tom, who works for a film post-production company, enjoys creating visual effects for movies but despises using his skills to manipulate and deceive viewers in TV commercials. While movies present honest illusions, ads involving beauty enhancement are dishonest, manipulative, and destructive to viewers' self-esteem, creating misery in the process. The unnecessary workforce. Duct tapers, box tickers, and pointless taskmasters are roles within organizations that shouldn't be necessary but persist due to flaws within said organizations. Duct tapers exist to fix problems that shouldn't happen in the first place. For example, some duct tapers spend hours manually copying information when digitizing technology is available, albeit at a cost. Box tickers, on the other hand, create the illusion of productivity by fulfilling nominal requirements just for the sake of ticking off boxes, even if they don't truly contribute to the organization's goals. An example is Layla, who generates compliance reports that rarely uncover corruption, merely making the organization appear compliant. Lastly, pointless taskmasters supervise employees who require no oversight. A localization manager named Alfonso takes task requests from an online system, passes them on to his team of translators who are more than capable of managing their own workload, and conceals the light workload from his superiors. These types of jobs exist due to organizational inefficiencies or an unwillingness to make changes that would render such roles obsolete. Ultimately, duct tapers, box tickers, and pointless taskmasters represent the unnecessary bloat within many organizations. The soul-crushing impact of bullshit jobs. A significant portion of the population find their jobs meaningless and personally unfulfilling. One reason for this dissatisfaction is the inherent falsity in some jobs, where dishonest or insincere behavior is required. This can cause severe moral distress. Another more potent reason is the complete lack of purpose, which goes against our fundamental human drive to have a lasting impact on the world. This void can lead to stress, deterioration of mental health, and overall discontent. Ultimately, purposeful work is a core human need that contributes significantly to our well-being. Today, many people are stuck in jobs they perceive as meaningless or unfulfilling, with the YouGov poll indicating that 37% see their jobs as pointless and 33% reporting personal dissatisfaction. This widespread discontent can be attributed to two primary factors: the intrinsic dishonesty involved in some jobs, and the devastating lack of purpose to be found in so-called bullshit jobs. Falsity in jobs can force people to act against their moral beliefs and instinct, resulting in a deep sense of unease. For instance, employees might be compelled to sell product subscriptions that their customers could obtain for free elsewhere, causing them to feel trapped in dishonest practices. However, an even more distressing aspect of bullshit jobs is the absence of purpose. Psychologist Carl Grews noted that humans experience pleasure when they have a predictable and significant impact on their environment. From babies shaking rattles to adults finding meaning in their careers, having purpose is a vital component of our happiness. Real-world examples, such as lottery winners who choose to continue working or employees who opt out of unfulfilling jobs, demonstrate the importance of purpose in our lives. When we're denied this essential need, detrimental consequences emerge, affecting our mental health and overall satisfaction. Ultimately, finding and pursuing purposeful work is crucial to our happiness and well-being. The evolution of work ethics. Historically, humans have worked in cycles of high-energy spurts followed by relaxation. In feudal societies, people worked when necessary, focusing on task completion rather than specific working hours. The concept of time was introduced in work practices with clock towers in the 14th century, and domestic clocks in the late 1700s, transforming a worker's time into a commodity. The modern-day mindset of scarce relaxation during work hours is attributed to the bullshitization of working life. In a bullshit job, employees can't relax after finishing work; instead, they must engage in degrading, pointless busywork. The relationship between work and time hasn't always been so rigidly defined. Historically, humans operated in cycles of occasional high-energy work bursts, followed by more leisurely periods. During feudal times, lords would engage in brief, infrequent work, such as fighting, and remain idle the rest of the time. Peasants, too, worked as needed, without strict adherence to a schedule, focusing on task completion rather than watching the clock. However, the introduction of clock towers in the 14th century and domestic clocks in the late 1700s transformed the concept of time and work practices. Suddenly, a worker's time became a commodity to be bought and sold, fostering the modern mindset, "You're on the clock, I'm not paying you to sit idle." This mentality gave rise to what the author calls the bullshitization of working life, exemplified by his experience as a restaurant dishwasher. After completing a rush of dishes, he and his co-workers took a break, only to be ordered back to work by their boss to engage in pointless tasks. In a bullshit job, employees are expected to perform degrading, unnecessary busywork if they've completed their main tasks, rather than take a break, an expectation that negates the natural cycle of work and relaxation practice throughout human history. The work equals virtue myth. Despite the negatives associated with many meaningless, bullshit jobs, the belief that work holds inherent virtue persists. Stemming from centuries of religious and moral thinking, the connection between work and virtue originated with the Puritans and intensified during the Industrial Revolution. Individuals like Thomas Carlyle embraced the notion that labor transcends meeting material needs, acting as the essence of life itself. Consequently, modern society ties one's self-worth and dignity to their job. This focus on work as the ultimate virtue can lead to individuals tolerating a lack of purpose and fulfillment in their occupations, rather than searching for more meaningful alternatives. Our perception of work as a positive value has deep roots in history, with the Puritans viewing labor as punishment and redemption, an idea that has only expanded over time. As the Industrial Revolution unfolded, essayist Thomas Carlyle widened this perspective by emphasizing work's role beyond satisfying material needs. He argued that labor is, in fact, life's very essence, making it the noblest thing yet discovered under God's sky. This ideology continues to assert a strong influence in contemporary society, where the majority of people still associate their self-worth and dignity with their occupation. When asked about their life during social interactions, most individuals define themselves by their jobs, regardless of the dissatisfaction they may feel while performing their everyday tasks. This notion of work's inherent virtue becomes apparent in situations involving meaningless jobs. For example, Rufus, who spent his days handling complaints at his father's biomedical company, felt a significant lack of purpose. Despite the possibility of providing Rufus with a more satisfying role or educational opportunities, his father believed it was necessary for his son to simply have a job, regardless of its value. Ultimately, this enduring belief in the inherent virtue of work has perpetuated a culture where people prioritize holding a job, even if the position offers no fulfillment or sense of purpose. The persistence of bullshit jobs. It's common knowledge that bullshit jobs, which serve little purpose, should not exist, especially within the private sector. Yet, due to cultural and political biases favoring full employment, these jobs continue to persist. Politicians on both sides promote job creation, and even influential figures like Barack Obama have argued in favor of maintaining such positions, despite their inefficiency. This phenomenon is not exclusive to the public sector. Businesses often resist efficiency measures to preserve these positions. For instance, a bank employee who created software that would automate an entire team's work faced resistance from the bank's executive, as the executive's importance would diminish without the team. Bullshit jobs, serving little purpose and contributing minimal value, should not exist within a rational and efficient system. However, these positions persist due to cultural and political forces that favor full employment in both public and private sectors. Politicians from different ideological backgrounds push for legislation that encourages job creation, regardless of the efficiency or necessity of these positions. This maintenance of bullshit jobs is not restricted to political machinations. Businesses themselves often actively uphold these positions, even when they contradict their own benefit. High-ranking officials can hold more importance in preserving such jobs because it reflects their status within the company. A case in point is the story of Simon, who worked in a major bank as a problem solver. He developed a software solution to address a system error and a security risk, but when he presented this solution to the bank's executive and a team of 25, they rejected it. The reason became apparent: the software would eliminate the need for the entire team's work. In turn, the executive would lose his significance within the company if his subordinates became redundant. The persistence of bullshit jobs highlights the political and cultural biases that prefer full employment, regardless of the efficiency, value, or necessity of the jobs themselves. This phenomenon persists in businesses, often driven by a desire to maintain hierarchy in power structures, rather than maximizing productivity and efficiency. Empowering lives with UBI. Imagine a world where financial freedom allows us to choose jobs that genuinely interest and fulfill us. Universal Basic Income, UBI, could make that a reality by providing a basic living wage to everyone, regardless of employment. By rebalancing the power dynamics between employees and employers, UBI allows workers to escape monotonous and degrading tasks without fearing financial ruin. Take Annie, for example. She longs to be a preschool teacher but is stuck in a soul-sucking administrative role due to financial constraints. With her essential living costs covered by UBI, Annie would be free to pursue her dream career. Like her, countless others might follow their passions and choose essential, creative, or enjoyable roles that would otherwise be financially out of reach. While UBI may not solve all work-related problems, it has the potential to improve the distribution of labor significantly and create an overall happier and more fulfilled workforce.
In conclusion, Bullshit Jobs, a theory, delves deep into the phenomenon of modern society creating and maintaining meaningless jobs. These pointless occupations, which have been categorized into 5 distinct types, negatively affect those working in them, leading to dissatisfaction and a lack of purpose. The book sheds light on the reasons behind this, including historical and societal factors that place importance on work as a virtue and political bias towards full employment. Graeber also explores the concept of universal basic income as a potential solution to free individuals from the constraints of useless jobs and enable them to choose more fulfilling and valuable work. This book serves as an important critique of contemporary work culture and a call to re-examine the value we place on employment.